64?
64.
65 and a 61.
Yeah.
So explain to us gringos that haven't spent any time in these neighborhoods, like Chicano means...
Chicano is basically somebody who was born of Mexican descent.
Right.
So I'm Chicano. My grandparents, they came from Mexico. And my parents were born here. I was born here. Mm-hmm. So I am of Mexican descent. The idea of identity for us here, what do we call ourselves if everyone in America is calling us Mexicans?
So when you see family in Mexico, they're like, you're American.
Of course.
Or
yeah.
Pocho.
And here...
Or Pocho, it could be Pocho.
And here some people say you're Mexican?
Well, yeah. When I travel other places, like, oh, he's Mexican.
Okay.
I could have this same debate with the person of African American descent, right?
Yeah.
They could say, hey, Ronan, my favorite Mexican. And I could say, hey, Joe, my favorite African.
Right.
He's not really gonna like that too much because he's not from Africa.
Gotcha.
He's an American born here of African descent.
Gotcha.
And the same thing goes for Chicanos. We're of Mexican descent born in America. That's kind of technical, but...
No, it makes sense. Can we walk down here?
Yeah.
Chicano English, also referred to as Mexican American English, is a variety of North American English predominantly spoken by Mexican Americans or Chicanos in the southwest of the United States. The notion that Chicano English is simply American English influenced by Spanish is widespread, but inaccurate. Chicano English is neither Pidgin nor Spanglish, but rather a fully formed dialect of North American English. As contact and immigration increased between Mexican and American settlers in the 19th century, English became a common, non-native learner language for the Mexican immigrants. Over time, this learner language developed into a consistent dialect that maintained several features of Mexican Spanish phonology, syntax, and semantics. Chicano English has many phonological features that demonstrate the Spanish influence. For example, the prosody is an intermediate between Spanish syllable timing and English stress timing. Furthermore, Chicano English exhibits word final consonants cluster reduction so that mind is pronounced as mine or left as left. Probably as a result of the influence of Nahuatl, affricates such as ch and sh are merged, leading to the pronunciation of teacher as tisha and to homophones such as chips and ships. Another phonological feature of Chicano English is the absence of dental fricatives, resulting in the pronunciation of think as tink, think, or sink.
In the country. So I'm going to turn this over to Megan again.
Hi again. Now I'm going to talk about Chicano English. The majority of Chicano English speakers reside in the US Southwest and California, and in Chicago. Chicano English is heavily influenced by Mexican Spanish. Spanish has been in this region longer than English has. In 1848, Mexico ceded this land to the US. Because of this history, Mexican Spanish has been influencing the English of the area for a really long time. One of my favorite features is devoicing of word final Z. So the sound Z is a voice sound. You can actually tell if you put your fingers here right by your throat and you do the Z sound, zzz, you'll feel vibration. With devoicing, we use the voiceless equivalent, which is an S. So the Z sounds at the end of words turn into more of an S sound. You can hear this devoicing in the plural form of chair. Chairs becomes chairs. You can hear that feature here.
He did things, he did things, he did things.
Another remarkable feature of Chicano English is that there's less vowel reduction. So it's a little subtle, but I'll try to show you how it sounds. I say because, and someone who would reduce the vowel would say because. I say together, and someone would reduce the vowel to together. Today, today. You can hear the features in this native speaker clip.
To hear, and to listen to everyone.
Thanks, Megan. While we're in the Southwest with Chicano English, let's make a quick stop in the Navajo Nation. Kalina?
On this stop, we will be visiting the traditional homelands of the Navajo people in the Four Corners area. The same devoicing feature found in Chicano English can also be found in Navajo English. You can hear a native speaker here.
I want him to recognize all Indian tribes.
The second feature here is a glottal replacement of final consonants. You can hear the glottal stop instead of a T.
I want it to hear.
Back to Eric.
Thank you, Kalina.
Chicano English emerges from the linguistic environment where there is contact between Mexican Spanish and American English. An important piece of information I should note is that Chicano English is not English influenced by Spanish, but is a variety of English spoken by fluent English speakers. To help us understand what that means, we can refer to Dr. Otto Santa Anna's study of Chicanos in Los Angeles. Dr. Otto states, Chicano English is an ethnic dialect that children acquire as they acquire English. Chicano English is to be distinguished from the English of second language learners. Thus defined, Chicano English is spoken only by native speakers. of English. Another key piece of information, according to the 2013 U.S. Census, is that 34.6 million residents, which is 10.9% of the United States population, identified as being of full or partial Mexican ancestry. And of that 10.9%, 64.1% of all Hispanics and Latinos identified as being Mexican American. Now that you know the definition of Chicano English, as well as statistics from the United States Census, I would like to start my analysis of media representations of Chicano English. According to Man-Kee Lee 2009 article, Code Switching in the Mexican American Community, the most distinctive characteristics amongst the Mexican American community is code switching. Lee defines code switching as a speaker may decide to include a single Spanish word with Spanish pronunciation within an English discourse, or include an entire Spanish phrase with an English sentence, or speak one sentence in Spanish and another in English. Although code switching is not the same thing as Chicano English, somebody who speaks Chicano English might choose to mix in words in Spanish. Lee states in his work that one may be having a conversation in one language and want to refer to something that is normally associated with another language. This is known as metaphorical code switching. The conversation doesn't change, but the choice reflects another setting in which can add new semantic dimensions to discourse. Although an English word and a Spanish word may be semantically identical, the two sentences may have a completely different meaning depending on which language you choose to switch to. Characteristic that is common amongst Chicano English speakers is the merging of SH and CH. According to Joyce Penfield's 1985 book, Chicano English, an Ethnic Contact Dialect, speakers of Chicano English, especially those who are bilingual, freely substitute SH and CH for CH and SH. The merging of SH and CH are teacher for teacher, wash for watch, shop for chop, and beach for beach. As stated in the D2L article by Carmen Fott, Chicano English is an interesting example of contact dialect where two languages were in contact, Spanish and English. As a result, it has features that make people think of a Spanish accent. However, many people who speak Chicano English are monolingual in English and do not speak any Spanish at all. Fott noted that Chicano English speakers have learned English perfectly, but the variety of English they have learned is non-standard due to the contact with Spanish. Chicano English can show considerable individual variation. No two people speak the same way all the time. Chicano English is a non-standard dialect because some of its characteristics differ from those of standard American.
When I was growing up, it was, yo, hey, Mexican. You know, I'm not Mexican. I've never even been to Mexico, you know. And but I knew I wasn't white, and I knew I wasn't black or Asian. And when I first heard Chicano, it was my uncle who was a policeman. My dad was a policeman too. But he said, some guy wanted him to charge $200 for fixing his car. He said, $200, man. Give me a piece of tin foil and a pair of pliers. I'll fix it. I'm a Chicano mechanic. And I go, Chicano, that's it. That's the guy, that's the can-do spirit, man. You know, that's a Rascuache raised to an art form. And I want to be a Chicano, and that's the first time I ever heard a word that described me. Yeah, I'm a Chicano. That's what I am. I'm not this or that or the other. I'm a Chicano. I'm this other thing. And this other thing is really good, and I can fit into any culture.
Yeah, right there. Okay, let's try it. Mexican Americans don't like to just get into gang fights. They like flowers and music and white girls named Debbie too. Mexican Americans are named Chata and Chela and Chema and have a son-in-law named Jeff. Mexican Americans don't like to get up early in the morning, but they have to, so they do it real slow. Mexican Americans love education, so they go to night school and they take Spanish and get a B. Yeah, leave that in. Mexican Americans love their nanas and their nonos and their ninas and their ninos. Nanu, nanu, nina, nono. Mexican Americans don't like to go to the movies where the dude has to wear contact lenses to make his blue eyes brown. Cause don't it make my brown eyes blue? And that's all I got. How do you like it?
Oh, that's good.
Pretty good, huh? It's like a protest tune, man.
Yeah, I dig that, man.
Yeah.
But you know, while you were singing that, I wrote another tune. You know?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's like the same thing, only different. You know? Do you want to hear it?
Yeah.
It's like a little more rock and roll than
All right,
that.
we'll get down.
It's something like this here. I gotta work a little more in the lyrics.
Yeah, that's heavy,
it's
man.
It's kind of like,
yeah,
you know.
Different people. We're not happy for anybody. A true Latino is never happy when other people do well. Our first instinct is negative. Did you hear Ruben got a job at the hospital? The marihuana? Órale. Pinche marijuana working at the hospital? Shit. I'm gonna call up, watch, hello, hospital? Ruben's a marijuana, over. That way he'll learn. My grandmother, I learned from my grandma. My grandma, 82 years old, everything she says is negative. Everything. Grandma, you hear about Maria? What, that she's pregnant? No, she's getting married. Like I said. With blue eyeshadow. So you can see it, they keep their eyes closed. Are you gonna go to the wedding? Shh. I went to the first three. Nada más puta que la chinga. She got 4 kids getting married in a white dress. Está loca la cabrona, white dress. No, hombre. A white dress. Mira that white dress. She should get married in a white dress with black sleeves. And a hole in the front para acabarle chingar. But tell her I said hi. Bring me a plate. That's all I want.
MC Kid Frost, yo soy jefe, patrón, it's the big boss. My cuenta's loaded, it's full of balas. I put it in your face and you won't say nada. Vatos cholos, you call us what you will. You say we are assassins, you're shooting out to kill. It's in my blood to be an Aztec warrior. Go to any extreme and hold no barriers. Chicano, and I'm brown and proud. Want this chingazo, Simones, and let's get down. Right now, in the dirt. What's the matter? You afraid you're gonna get hurt? I'm with my homeboys, my ties, my camaradas, kicking back con mi ganga y pa' mí no diga nada. Yo soy chingón ese, like Al Capone ese, controla todo, so don't never try to sweat me. Some of you don't know what's happening, que pasa, it's not for you anyway, cause this is for the raza. This is for the raza. Raza, raza, raza. This is for the raza. The foreign tongue I'm speaking is known as CALÓ. Y sabes que loco, yo soy muy malo. Tú no sabes nada, your brain is hollow. Been hit in the head too many times with a bottle. Still you're trying to act cool, but you shouldn't.
Killing that first night got me the worst that juvie had to offer. An extended sentence with a guaranteed bus ride to the big time as soon as I turned 18. But the respect I earned made me think I'd found the answer. When JD showed up a year later, I knew we'd get even stronger.
Hey man, what's your name? Hey, where you from? La Primera, Islos. You talk like a fucking Chicano, man.
So what you want to do about it?
I'll check you out later.
Órale, I see they finally let your white ass out of the hospital, carnal. Santana! You doing, man? ¿Qué will say? You guys, check it out, man. This right here is JD. He's my best crime partner. This is Chewy, Casper, Chuco, Raymond,
I'm big happy. Órale.
Can I talk to you, ese?
Yeah, come here. ¿Qué traes, carnal?
Thinking of letting him in, ese?
Told you he's my best crime partner.
He ain't Mexican, ese?
Yeah, pero ¿sabes qué? Es mi hermano. ¿Me entiendes, Mendes? Órale. So, Holmes, how's that leg?
Check it out, hard as a rock, ese.
Shit, Holmes, throw some shellac on it.
Shit, I'll still run your ass to the ground, ese.
Yo, míralo.
Chavala.
Ladies and gentlemen, the mono you're about to see is a construct of fact and fantasy. But relax, weigh the facts, and enjoy the pretense. Our Pachuco realities will only make sense if you grasp their stylization. It was a secret fantasy of every vato, living in or out of the Pachucada, to put on the zoot suit and play the myth. Más chucote que la chingada. Pues órale.
Mari marijuana, mari marijuana boogie. Mari marijuana, mari marijuana boogie. Mari marijuana, that's my baby's name. Put on your drapes, ese vato, make those calcos shine. Put on your drapes, ese vato, make those calcos shine. They're holding court on the corner, marijuana boogie time.
I want to talk about the renaissance of Chicano culture. Chicano, not Hispanic, not Latino, not Pocho, as we are known to some of you. We are mestizos, a powerful mix of different bloodlines, from Spanish to Arabic to African to Asian to indigenous. Now, with all due respect, there's been a long misunderstanding and lack of respect for Chicanos. We've been called mongrels without a culture, traitors because we left Mexico. But it was the revolution that forced my grandparents to the U.S., and we have never cut our roots with you. And as for not having a culture, well, I have news for you. We've been busy. We now have internationally recognized artists, including painters like Margaret Garcia, Barbara Carrasco, Wayne Healy, and Judith Hernandez. Writers and poets like Sheri Moraga, Rodolfo Anaya, Gloria Anzaldúa. We have musicians, among them Lalo Guerrero, Carlos Santana, and Los Lobos. Theater and film artists like Luis Valdez, Evelina Fernandez, Edward James Olmos, and now Cheech Marin. The fact is, Chicanos have created a magnificent and vital culture. Una cultura chingona. ¿Y qué? Gracias. Con zafos.